Welcome to the hottest grappling show in Arizona. The Valley is home to an amazing grappling community. Join us as we roll through the top jiu-jitsu schools in the state. Our goal? To highlight incredible instructors, their academies, and their amazing journeys through life and jiu-jitsu. It's not the destination, it's the journey that counts. Welcome to Rollin Through the Valley.
Outside. Good. Right? It should be a no-brainer. You're showing up every single day to prove yourself and be undeniable. I push, redirect, step, 1, 2, knee on belly.
Okay, Alex, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Brownsville, Texas, originally. I joined the military a long time ago and did 9 years in the Navy. And
Navy?
Yeah. And I got out of the Navy and moved around a little bit around the country and came to Arizona in 2006. So that's where I've been ever since, yeah.
And when did you start jiu-jitsu? When did you open up the academy?
Wow. So I started jiu-jitsu when I was 40 years old. I had done triathlon previously. I'd done a lot of physical stuff, and I just got into really bad shape after. And I found Paul Nava's academy when I was 40, and I've been going ever since. Progressively, I've been going through kind of steps through jiu-jitsu and started coaching for Professor Paul Nava at his academy for the kids program. And then I took over the morning program. And when I got my black belt, I was sitting in traffic going to a meeting that I didn't really want to go to.
Yeah.
And I called my business partner, Chris, and I said, hey, let's open an academy. And that's what we did.
I have some questions though. Starting at 40 years old, that's a big deal. You know, there's a lot of older men and women out there that want to start something and they think that they're too old for it. How did that work out for you? Were you intimidated at first, or were you kind of just like, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to try it out and see how it goes?
I was
extremely
intimidated. When I first walked into the academy, they were training for this tournament called PANS. I had no idea what that was.
Right.
And it's a very old tournament, been around a long time, and it's one of the biggest tournaments in the world. So they were training really hard. And this is a 40-year-old, out-of-shape person walking into this academy, and the windows are fogged, and you know, everybody's, you know, they're really doing hard training. But my mentality's always been that I have to at least try before I say no. So it can be intimidating, but I think when you take that first step, you'll be really surprised how well you do.
And I'm curious, was there any training in the Navy at all? Did you do any combat training at all, or
no, nothing like that. So when I was in the Navy, I worked on gun and missile systems, which means I cleaned a lot. Did a lot of sweeping and mopping, but I did my job. But no, my job in the Navy was to work on stuff. We were technicians more than anything. We weren't really, I wouldn't call us war fighters. The ship was a war fighter. We were just the technicians on it.
Okay, so big question, what does jiu-jitsu mean to you, and how do you feel that it relates to life?
Jiu-jitsu means a lot of things to me. I spent a lot of time not really knowing who I was, and doing jiu-jitsu, just being part of that environment and getting to know myself. Jiu-jitsu really peeled me open and showed me the person that I really am. You know, I was in a job that I didn't like, doing things that I didn't want to do, and then jiu-jitsu took me in a whole different direction, and it literally transformed my life a little bit later than most, but it means everything. It's who I am down into my soul. I can't imagine a life without it.
So Alex, I know you've competed before, right? What are your thoughts on competition, and how do you run your school for competition? How do you train your students for competition?
Well, that's a great question. When it comes down to competing, I'm not really an advocate for everybody competing. I think it's for some people and not for others. You can be a very good jiu-jitsu practitioner without being a sport competitor. But when it comes to competition, I take that very seriously, because a lot of the injuries that I've seen in competition are from lack of preparation. So somebody goes into a competition, they're not quite physically fit yet. So if you're not physically fit, you can't really use techniques, and you certainly can't use any tactics to win in a tournament. So we in our academy, we kind of split the competition side and the traditional training side into two different categories, basically, and we have classes that act accordingly. So competition classes will be a little bit more intense than our regular classes, and we make sure that it's for everybody.
And you guys do really well here. Aries is a very known name out here in Arizona. And you guys are, I believe, second place for kids, right?
Second place, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all want to know, how was your very first competition experience?
Awful. It was awful. I'm so glad I did it. I was nervous going in. I didn't even know where to go when I walked into the venue. It's just chaotic. And I walked up to one of my teammates and I said, "Hey, where do I go?" So they showed me, you know, where the test scale is, and you know, when to show up for the bullpen and all that. And I remember I got all of this advice right prior to my first match, and none of it came into play because I just got dominated for 5 minutes. And I think my wife still has that on video somewhere.
Oh my God.
It's just me, my little feet moving, and somebody on top of me.
Right.
It was unwatchable. But I think what it taught me is you can gain a lot of experience in a very short period of time by exposing yourself to those very difficult situations and tournaments. I mean, talk about being out of your comfort zone. Talk about putting yourself in a situation where you're completely uncomfortable and learning from it. There's no better experience, in my opinion. Do
you currently still compete?
I do. I compete with the old people. Yes. Yeah.
When was your last competition?
My last competition was Master Worlds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Vegas? In
Vegas. Cool. Yeah. Then I always tell people that's the one that I care about the most. That's the one that I really shoot for. Everything revolves around that competition.
That's awesome.
And just seeing people my age still doing it, it's awesome.
Yeah. And you're the head instructor here, right?
I'm one of the instructors here.
Okay.
You know, I'm one of the instructors / owners, but we have a head instructor for our advanced class, our mixed levels class. It's Josh Cisneros, and cool. I would consider him our head instructor.
What advice would you give your younger self?
That it's a lifelong pursuit, and that it's okay if you don't understand something right away. I found that, you know, by the time you get to a purple belt level, you've pretty much been exposed to, I would say, the majority of techniques. And at that point, you haven't really mastered, I don't think you master anything ever, but there's certain things that you start gaining, certain, I guess a thought process or the amount of information you can digest starts increasing the more you expose yourself to jiu-jitsu. And just understanding that if you're on week 1 and you can't understand what a scissor sweep is, that's okay. Maybe 5 years from then, maybe 5 years from then it'll click and it'll be yours. You'll own it. But it's about applying yourself for enough time and being patient with it. That's something I wish I could go back and tell myself, to try not to do everything at the same time.
And to finish up the interview, is there anything going on at Aries? What are you currently excited about? What is going on here?
Well, in Aries as a whole, you know, worldwide, we have 75 schools. We have one of the leaders of Aries is on the west side, so his availability is enormous. He's very supportive of us. But as far as just this academy, I think the team that we're assembling is going to be fantastic. Just the people that we're bringing in, the coaches that we're bringing in that are starting with us, the programs that we're developing are going to be second to none. I'm very excited about that.
How can we find out more about you and the academy?
So as far as the academy goes, the best way to get a hold of us or find out about us is through our social media, Instagram mainly, Facebook, Aries East Mesa Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and yeah, you know, we try to respond to every message, every email, every phone call. So we do our best, but that's the best way to find out about us.